I am not able to check how it's mathematically monotonically decreasing.
Okay. Okay, I will explain. Let others join.
And one more thing that could you make us solve some more question?
Yes, it will be done in your tutorial class. I will solve more question in your means. There is another faculty on Monday who will be taking class, and you can discuss in your tutorial class. Okay.
Ma'am, he is actually
no. From now onward, he will take only the tutorial section.
Matrix.
Earlier I was doing more problems. So from yesterday I have skipped many problems, and because it will be difficult to cover the course. Okay. So more problems will be done in your tutorial class.
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
यस गुड मॉर्निंग।
हम आपसे डाउट कैसे पूछेंगे?
डाउट हम जब क्लास में पढ़ा रहे थे, पहला 2-3 क्लास हम पढ़ाए थे तो काफी प्रॉब्लम्स कराए थे, लेकिन कल क्योंकि अगर हम बहुत सारा प्रॉब्लम्स कराएंगे तो फिर कवर करना मुश्किल होगा, तो हमने कल से वही 2-2 प्रॉब्लम्स करवाए थे अलग अलग टेस्ट के। जो डिस्कशंस रहेगा ना वो बाकी ट्यूटोरियल क्लास में कर लेना, ट्यूटोरियल क्लास में, क्योंकि वो थ्योरी नहीं पढ़ाएंगे, वो सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम्स कराएंगे। ओके।
हम उसमें कुछ और ही चल रहा है।
नहीं, हाँ अभी
मैट्रिक्स चल रही है।
हाँ अभी हम मैट्रिक्स पढ़ाएंगे, वो अपना ट्यूटोरियल करवाएंगे। ठीक है। पहला दिन असली में हम लोग का क्लास स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ था ना, तो इसलिए हमने उनको एक नया क्लास वेस्ट होता करके एक टॉपिक दे दिए थे। अब तो कवर हो गया ना उनको ट्यूटोरियल पढ़ाने के लिए।
जी
यस
ओके मैम।
ओके।
आज से मैट्रिक्स है क्या?
नहीं, आज मैट्रिक्स नहीं, अभी एक पोर्शन बचा हुआ है।
ओके।
अभी वो इसका है वही ऑल्टरनेटिंग सीरीज का लास्ट टॉपिक इज लेफ्ट।
सो मैम क्विज कब होगा?
क्विज बाकी सब बैच का अगर फर्स्ट मॉड्यूल कवर हो जाएगा, सो देयर विल बी अ क्विज। वो ऑल द बैचेस विल गिव क्विज टुगेदर। Okay, the problem that we were doing yesterday.
Ma'am, we will get to know that we are having quiz 2 days before.
Yeah, you will get to know. Maximum 2 days, okay?
Ma'am, please make it minimum 2 days.
See, every time will be given to all the batches, means it will be done centrally. The quiz portion will be done centrally, not individually by my end. Okay, I will conduct the quiz, but the question paper will be set centrally and the date will be centrally, and if you are absent, then it is difficult to reconduct, so try not to be absent. Just it is like exam. In your exam, if you are absent, the exam is not organized again, isn't it? Like HS exam or this exam, it is not reorganized, so try to be present in the quiz portion. Okay, we were doing this part one by one. Yes.
Quiz will be MCQ based.
Mostly it is MCQ. It has not been decided, but I think it will be MCQ.
मैम होना कब तक है?
क्या चीज?
ये क्विज का मतलब क्या कोई टेंटेटिव डेट है इसका?
हाँ डेट निकलेगा। हम तो वही अभी तो वही एक स्टूडेंट पूछे ना कि 2 डेज पहले बता देने, तो डेट निकलेगा। इसीलिए हम पहला क्लास में बोल रहे थे कि जैसे जैसे पढ़ाया जाएगा वैसे रेगुलर पढ़ाई करना, क्योंकि अचानक से एक डेट आ जाएगा, यू आर हैविंग क्विज। यहाँ पे ऐसे ही है, यहाँ का सिस्टम वही है कि जब पूरा बाकी बैचेस का भी एक मॉड्यूल खत्म हो जाएगा, देन देयर विल बी अ डिसीजन व्हेन देयर विल बी अ क्विज एंड दैट विल बी इन्फॉर्म्ड टू यू। क्लियर? अच्छा, अब इस प्रॉब्लम
सैटरडे संडे को भी हो सकता है क्या क्विज? सैटरडे संडे को भी हो सकता है।
सैटरडे संडे क्यों होगा? वर्किंग डेज
नहीं मतलब
वर्किंग डेज में होगा। सैटरडे संडे क्यों होगा? वर्किंग डेज में होगा और टाइम बता दिया जाएगा और मैक्सिमम 1 आवर रहेगा, नॉट बियॉन्ड।
मैम अभी बाकी बैचेस से क्लासेस हम लोग का कोर्स कैसा पोजीशन में है? मींस आगे है, सेम पोजीशन पे है?
वो नहीं पता, वो तो हमें नहीं पता। इफ यू हैव कांटेक्ट विद योर फ्रेंड्स इन अदर बैच, यू कैन आस्क।
ओके मैम,
ठीक है, बट ऐसे ही चल रहा होगा, अभी ज्यादा तो क्लास हुआ नहीं है, आसपास एग्जैक्टली नहीं होगा, बस आगे पीछे थोड़ा बहुत होगा। Okay, so we were doing over here this series. So this is alternating series. देखने में समझ में आ रहा है प्लस माइनस साइन है. So there were two theories that we have studied. If there is an alternating series, we will apply Leibniz test. The first test is that you have to prove that it is monotonically decreasing. ये short form है, ठीक है? To prove monotonically decreasing, you can see, मतलब verbally भी अगर हम देखें तो we can understand that it is decreasing if we omit the sign. अगर इसको हम लिखते हैं like this form, summation I equal to 1 to infinity 1, so n to infinity n to the power p, यहाँ पे होगा -1.
screen is not
अच्छा,
reading.
okay, sorry, screen is हाँ ठीक है अभी दिखेगा.
When we systemize solution, rank of A is equal to rank of augmented AB. And you have to find the rank of augmented AB and you will find the rank of A from there.
So this is the structure. So when we apply the test, we consider this portion, means ignoring the sign. So we will take summation n equal to 1 to infinity -1 whole to the power n into un, where un was 1 by n to the power p. Theory, you remember, when I was starting the Leibniz test, I have given you this theory that if you have any series of this form, then in order to prove that it is a convergent series, you apply Leibniz test on un. What is the condition?
-1 का पावर n+1 नहीं होगा?
हाँ, n+1 ठीक है. n+1 लो या n-1 लो. Yes. वो लिखते फिर हम out of mind हो गए. Okay. So the first thing is that you have to prove that it is monotonically decreasing, and second is that you have to prove that limit n tending to infinity un is equal to 0. So over here it depends on the variable p. P is not defined to you. So you can take different cases of p. Like if you take when p is greater than 0. Why this condition is assumed? Because if p is in the denominator term 1 by n to the power p, and if it is positive, then what will happen? The value will increase. है ना? The value of this term will increase. But if it is negative, then this will go to the numerator n to the power p, and this value will increase. So, and if it is equal to 0, then you will have only one value, that is fine. So this term will depend on p, whether it is greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0. That is why it is being divided over here. Case 1 when p is positive. So when p is positive, you have to prove first monotonically decreasing. So what you do? Un plus 1 minus un, so it will be 1 by n plus 1 whole to the power p, 1 by n to the power p. So when you simplify, you have n to the power p minus n plus 1 whole to the power p by n to the power p into n plus 1 whole to the power p. Now see, since p is greater than 0, so this term, if you want, you can further simplify n to the power p into 1 minus 1 plus 1 by n whole to the power p. So this is n to the power p, n plus 1 whole to the power p. So this will cancel. You can have 1 plus 1 by n. Now you see yourself. What is the value of this term when p is positive?
Less than 0. Ma'am, less than 0.
You are getting, because when p is positive, see, this term is becoming smaller, which is in the numerator. अगर ये डिनोमिनेटर में होता तो क्या होता है? इसका वैल्यू बढ़ जाता है, क्योंकि ये डिनोमिनेटर में इसका वैल्यू कम हो जाएगा, यहाँ से माइनस टर्म है और ये वैल्यू कम रहा है, so this will be less than 0. Therefore what we are having un is monotonically decreasing. So this part is proved. First part is proved. Now you have to prove again second part. We have to prove that limit n tending to infinity un is equal to 0. Now limit n tending to infinity 1 by n to the power p. So what will be the value? See, when p is positive, that means it is increasing. So since this is increasing, that means this value will decrease. So this will become 0 since p is positive. So by Leibniz test, you have proved that this is convergent. Now, when we take another case, when p is less than 0. Now, when p is less than 0, what is happening to this term? अच्छा यहाँ से ही देख लेते हैं ये वाला टर्म.
Increasing.
हाँ.
It is increasing.
Yes, it will increase. And what will happen to this term? Will it become 0?
No, it will tend to infinity.
So that is why Leibniz test cannot be applied when P is less than 0. Because Leibniz's test is saying that in order to prove that it is convergent, you have to prove that this is fulfilling. So you can directly say that Leibniz test cannot be applied. When P is less than 0, Leibniz tests are not satisfied.
What will be the case for divergent in Leibniz test?
No, it will not be divergent. It will oscillate. Alternating है ना? Oscillate करेगा. ठीक है?
No,
So
I was asking in which case it will be divergent, ma'am. That you have taught us that we have to prove that series is monotonically decreasing and limit n tends to infinity, un is equals to 0. So if both the cases satisfy, then it's convergent. But what will be the case for divergent?
No, this is not proved by Leibniz test. So over here it will not diverge. This is not proved because for alternating series that condition is not proved. It is proved that it will oscillate, but oscillating condition is not coming here. Got the point? समझ में आया कि नहीं?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, तो ये हो गया. और जब P is 1, then what you are getting?
P is 1, P is greater than 0.
अच्छा, यहाँ पे when P is 1, what you are getting?
P is greater than 0, so everything is correct and we can apply the Leibniz test.
Okay, what will be the value of this term when P is equal to 1?
Now we are talking about P equals 0.
Sorry. Yeah, P equal to 0. When P is equal to 0. So it will become 0 by 0 form. Then also it cannot be applied. Okay, when P is 0, this becomes 1. This becomes 1. So over here, this is 1. So it is greater than 0. And over here, what is happening? When P is 0, this is also 1. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So it will not be applied. Now let us come to the alternating series, another portion.
Ma'am,
Yes.
once can you tell about the test? Because
Leibniz test. All these are there in the book.
No.
Yes.
About the exams. Like you are going to conduct some exam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
You will, whatever has been taught in your syllabus, whatever is there in the syllabus, based on that you will get. And since it is an open book examination, questions may be difficult because you will be using a book at home.
And
because it will be actually means it is difficult to check who is looking from the book and who is not looking from the book. So it is like it is an open book exam. So I think it will be like that. It will be a little bit tough.
And when will it be, ma'am?
Same thing you are repeating. It will be informed.
Okay. I will be able to the connection. That's
okay. Absolute convergence of a series. So by the term absolute, what do you mean? Or absolute convergence?
Six x plus 25 minus 6x is equal to minus 2. You can take this to this side.
What do you mean by absolute value? Like if you are given 3, minus 3, what is the absolute value of 3? Minus 3?
Modulus of minus.
Modulus of this, which is equal to 3. So same thing over here. If we have to prove whether this is absolute convergence or not, that means you have to take the mod of this series. If you take the mod of this series, then this series becomes all positive term series. Okay, so when this becomes positive term series, so you can apply the test in a similar way as you apply using ratio test, comparison test, and whatever test you have studied. That means now it is not an alternating series, it becomes a positive term series. So this is the condition.
We have made this entry 0. For this, देखिए हम verify कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे 28 let me check.
Series this.
R2 minus.
Convergent.
Okay. Here was 20. There is 20.
So if you take the whole summation, that means you can write it like this.
So 2, 6, 0.
Mod of -1, you know this term, this will go inside.
This minus. No,
Or in other way, you can write like this. Absolute value of UN, isn't it? Because this absolute value, it becomes a positive term, and so this becomes this, which is with all positive terms.
Or I will take this multiply this equation with 3 and over this is R2 minus 3 times R.
Is convergent.
So after operating this, I got this matrix 2, 6, 0, 0.
So if this is convergent, then we can say that this is absolutely convergent.
So automatically this.
Now there is another condition.
So how many unknowns are here? A augmented B. What is the this notation is used for rank? What is the rank of A augmented B matrix? So this is 3. What is the rank of A? For rank of A,
Conditional convergence of a series.
this matrix. So the number of unknowns around the rows in A is 2. 1. This row is 0. So the rank of A is 2, but rank of A augmented B is 3. So this system is inconsistent. The system has no solution. Okay? So we are not going to find this because it has no solution. Clear? Let us do another. Do this one.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes.
Ma'am, what happened in the previous question at p equal to 0? My internet disconnected.
I have also erased that portion. You can discuss with your friend. If you are not able to
Okay.
understand, then because it has been erased now.
Okay, ma'am. Sorry.
Because many of them have understood, so you can discuss.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay, they should be -1
what is
to the
the
prime.
first find the rank of A augmented B? And I will ask Aryan Chopra to solve this. Aryan Chopra.
So you are given an alternating series, okay? So when you take the absolute value of the alternating series, if you take the absolute value, that means you will get a formula like this. So if this is convergent, then you can say that it is absolutely convergent. If this is divergent, okay, then we cannot say that the given series is divergent because it is alternating. Okay, it will oscillate. So what we can say, there is another name which is called conventionally convergent. Like this is divergent, and again you can prove that the alternating series itself is convergent by Leibniz test, because when we are using the convergence of this series, we are using Leibniz test. Can you get what I am saying?
Yes, ma'am.
If the alternating series is convergent, when we prove a convergence of alternating series, we use Leibniz test. If the alternating series is convergent, but the absolute value of the series is divergent, then we can say that alternating series is conventionally convergent. If absolute value of the series is convergent, then we will say it is absolutely convergent. Got it?
Ma'am, can you repeat this once again?
So here for the there are two terms. One is absolutely convergent, another is conventionally convergent. You have an alternating series. So if you take the mod of that alternating series, so see when we are taking the mod, what is coming? Finally, we are coming over here. Summation n equal to 1 to infinity mod of un.
Yes, ma'am.
So if this is convergent, then we say that the given series is absolutely convergent. See, the series this will be absolutely convergent if this,
Okay.
if you take absolute value, that means you are reaching here. That means if mod summation n equal to 1 to infinity mod of this, a positive term, now this becomes all positive term. With all positive term is convergent. Okay. Now what will happen if this is not convergent? Then what will happen? Will it diverge? So in order to, because since it is oscillating, it is alternating series. Alternating series means when I started with the first lecture, I was saying that it will oscillate. It will give one time positive value. I just gave the example of a pendulum. So what will happen? So what will happen when this is not converging? That means it is diverging, because now this becomes a positive term series. Positive term series, you can easily prove whether it is convergent or divergent using the previous test, that is comparison test, ratio test, Rabi's test, nth root test, whatever test has been taught. So you can apply those tests and you can prove whether it is convergent or not. So if it is not convergent, it is divergent, then what will be the case? Now there will be a situation that the alternating series will converge, but this will diverge. Then we call it as conditionally convergent series. Now this, in order to prove that this is converging, again you can come back to the Leibniz test which I have taught just now, isn't it? So you can directly apply that test and you can prove. क्या समझ में आया? क्लियर? अच्छा एक एग्जांपल कर लो तो बहुत अच्छे से क्लियर होगा. So I think you have noted down.
No, ma'am, it's okay.
मैम with all positive terms is convergent का क्या मतलब है?
Convergent means it will reach some finite value. It will reach some finite value. And that value is a unique value. ये सब चीज बुक में है, ठीक है? जो बुक हम लोड किए हैं, all these things are there in the book. I am writing it down so that you can note down over here, so that you can do your day-to-day studies. नहीं तो फिर note down नहीं करोगे तो book में बहुत कुछ मिलेगा. Otherwise, you again you will be confused what to study and what not to study. So whatever I am teaching, you note down those things and you consider those things from the book and you can study. Okay, now let us come to the example.
So this is the consistent as I will find it. So first, how many linear equations will be? Definitely, what is that of this? Which is less than number of unknowns. Yeah, 3, and it's 3 here. So this is less than 3. The system has how many solutions? Infinite number of solutions. Okay, infinite number of solutions. This means how many linear equations?
So you have to prove whether this series, this alternating series is absolute or conditional convergent. Now, first you can try with the absolute term. So what you can do? You have this series.
Yes, let us find those linear equations.
So in summation form, you can write.
Let us find those linear equations.
क्या होगा?
So, what is my matrix system from
n over 3 to the power n minus 1.
Yes.
This is a coefficient matrix.
n minus 1.
Matrix. This is the
Now
matrix. P vector. So I'm going to multiply these matrix with the unknown. This is my actually A X
for absolute convergence.
Unknown X Y Z.
So having this, so absolute value of this becomes n by 3 to the power n minus 1. Okay, now we prove. convergent or not? How can you prove?
Cauchy root test.
Cauchy root test.
Dilbert's ratio.
Cauchy root test.
Ratio test.
हाँ, because Cauchy root test if you apply then it will be difficult. क्योंकि to the power n नहीं है, तो इसका और complicated हो जाएगा.
Converges, ma'am.
Commit convergence. Convergent. 1/3.
Yeah, 1/3. So you are having 1/3 by root test, which is less than 1, so convergent. So you have applied un plus 1 by un, isn't it? So it is convergent. Now since this
test you have used here?
Ma'am, ratio test, no? You have written
Dilbert's ratio test.
रेशियो टेस्ट, ठीक है, सब जागे हुए हैं. रेशियो टेस्ट यहाँ पे वो टेस्ट नहीं आएगा, पी सीरीज टेस्ट नहीं आएगा क्योंकि ये नीचे में डिनोमिनेटर बेस 3 है, तो वो पी सीरीज टेस्ट कंपैरिजन टेस्ट यहाँ पे नहीं आएगा. और कॉसी रूट टेस्ट भी नहीं आएगा क्योंकि nth पावर में कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है, तो ओनली चॉइस दैट इज लेफ्ट इज दिस पार्ट. So this is convergent. This is convergent means what is convergent?
I'm going to multiply this by
Absolute value.
Because this you have reached from taking the absolute term of the series, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, the series is absolute convergent.
6, y plus 2z is equal to 8. So from the second equation, y is 8
Alternating series.
2 times z, and x is z minus 2. So both x and y
Yes,
are
absolute
coming in terms of z. I can write this system as, so my
Got it?
clear with this all of you? Just solve
Yes, ma'am.
then I will explain.
Now let us take another example. Now let us take another example. Now you check whether it is absolute or conditional convergent. Test it. सब समझ में आ रहा है ना जो पढ़ा रहे हैं?
This is y is equal to 8 minus 2z.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है.
So the vector axis, unknown vector axis, x, y, z.
Now you test whether it is absolute or conditional convergence. So direct conditional में jump करने की जरूरत नहीं है. पहले इसको क्योंकि this is a part of this term, isn't it? So you first check whether it is absolute or not.
So this vector becomes like this.
So you take the absolute value of the series,
Minus 2z plus
then you will get a positive term series, and then apply the theory of positive term series to see whether it is convergent or divergent.
as like this. Coefficient of z plus, you can say that this is a constant. Z coefficient is 1 minus 2, 1 into z plus minus 8, 0. Okay? Now, I have to generate two linearly independent solutions. So first I can take any possible value. So for this what I usually take 0 1 combination.
What is the nth term of the series?
That is equal to 0.
N plus 1 divided by N plus 2 into N.
Into 1 by N.
N plus 1 by N plus 2 into 1 by N.
Solution is coming out minus 1 minus
फिर सामने में समेशन है, तो इसका एब्सोल्यूट लेना है, एब्सोल्यूट लेने से बस ये वाला पार्ट बच जाएगा. So ये वाला पार्ट बच गया. Now you can apply. इसको देखने में अच्छा, you can just looking at this part you can understand which series test you will apply. You tell me which test you will apply.
Conversion.
Yeah.
Comparison test.
Yes.
Comparison test.
Yeah. Directly you can apply. Yeah. Ratio test भी अगर apply होता है तो don't go for ratio test because it is time consuming. Comparison test बहुत आसानी से हो जाता है क्योंकि टेस्ट फेल करेगा तो फिर रैपिड टेस्ट में जाना होगा. ठीक है. कंपैरिजन टेस्ट बहुत जल्दी बन जाता है.
For example, there are two unknowns. For example, there are two unknowns. Y and Z. the solution set is in terms of point set, and you have to select the independent solution. How do you select the the solution is in terms of
माइनस वन पे पावर n प्लस वन होगा ना,
क्या -1 to the power
n प्लस वन होगा ना, n माइनस
हाँ एक ही बात है, अगर 0 से शुरू करोगे तो वो होगा, 1 से शुरू करोगे तो वो होगा, एक ही बात है। समेशन n इक्वल टू 1, क्योंकि इसमें कोई पॉजिटिव 1 से शुरू होगा, 0 से शुरू होगा।
कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंट है।
हम कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंट।
यस, तो ये वाला सीरीज का जो क्या प्रूव हो रहा है, दिस सीरीज इज
कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंट।
so why it is divergent?
मैम Vn 1 by n
Yes, yes, because Vn is equal to 1 by n and this P series is divergent, so this series will be divergent. Now, how did you prove that this is conditionally convergent? कैसे प्रूव किए हो? डाइवर्जेंट तो निकल गया, आप फिर कैसे प्रूव कर रहे हो?
Ma'am, you have to test whether the series is convergent or not.
Yes, this series, yes, you have to see whether the alternating series is convergent or not by
Using Leibniz test.
Yes, so what you have to prove?
they are not independent because the merit is 0.
What you have to prove?
Decreasing and limit and tending to infinity
Yes.
equal to 0.
Yes, good. ठीक है, बनाओ।
This definitely is non-zero. For example,
पोस्ट करना जिसका बन जाएगा मेरे पास देखेंगे।
mark is 1. Next is that is equal to 2. The solution will be this is also not. You cannot directly manipulate the vector state when they are independent. आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा। So, this is about how to find first system is consistent or inconsistent. Then you have to find how many linearly independent systems. After that, you have to find those linearly independent systems. This is for system of inhomogeneous. So let us solve the system. This was our problem.
Now you take another example. Test convergence of this series. So this is also an infinite alternating series. So यहाँ पे टेस्ट कन्वर्जेंस बता रहा है, तो इसमें अभी एब्सोल्यूट कन्वर्जेंस या कंडीशनल कन्वर्जेंस नहीं बताया है, ठीक है? तो डायरेक्टली यू अप्लाई लीबनिज़ टेस्ट, तो मॉड लेके करने की जरूरत है। स्टूडेंट्स मेक अ मिस्टेक ओवर हियर बिकॉज व्हेन एब्सोल्यूट इज नॉट आस्क्ड दे जस्ट टेक द मॉड एंड दे डू इट। एब्सोल्यूट जब पूछा जाएगा देन यू टेक द मॉड। इफ नथिंग इज आस्क्ड, व्हेन मॉड इज नॉट, एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू इज नॉट आस्क्ड, देन यू डायरेक्टली अप्लाई द लीबनिज़ टेस्ट। लीबनिज़ टेस्ट लगा के फिर बोलना मत कि कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंस है। यहाँ पे भी स्टूडेंट गड़बड़ कर देते हैं, लीबनिज़ टेस्ट लगा लेते हैं फिर बोल देते हैं कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंस। सो कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंस विल कम ओनली व्हेन यू प्रूव दैट एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू ऑफ द सीरीज इज डाइवर्जेंट, ठीक है? और बाकी इसका टेस्ट सेम है जो कंडीशनली कन्वर्जेंस में हम यूज करते हैं।
Ma'am, in Lebanese test, it is not, I guess, monotonically decreasing.
It is not monotonically decreasing. अच्छे से चेक करो।
For the first few terms, it is increasing and then it's decreasing.
What test you are applying? You apply un plus 1 minus un. You apply that condition?
No, ma'am, we are talking about the previous question.
प्रीवियस में कैसे चलेगा आप फिर जब हम अभी ये वाला क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं? तो प्रीवियस में आपको कैसे समझ में आएगा? तुम प्रीवियस पूछ रहे थे तब बोलना था ना। अच्छा फिर बोलो प्रीवियस में क्या पूछ रहे थे?
Ma'am, the difference is coming minus 2n square plus 3n plus 3. So I think
पोस्ट करो सोल्यूशन।
हाँ।
अब जब जो प्रॉब्लम में रहेंगे ना उसी प्रॉब्लम करना, तो फिर समझ में नहीं आएगा ना कि कौन सा पूछ रहे हो।
Ma'am, I guess in this question only, in Lebanese test, it's coming n square plus 3n.
अच्छा, यहाँ पे un क्या है?
No, ma'am, it is coming less than decreasing.
हाँ डिक्रीजिंग आएगा यहाँ पे. What is UN over here?
UN n by 2
n upon 2 n
Yes,
minus 1.
yes, n by 2 n minus 1. और here also student consider this sign and then prove it. वो भी नहीं है, ठीक है? Sign को नहीं लेके करना है.
Are you solving it or not?
So you are having UN and you are having UN plus 1. To prove that it is decreasing, you have to prove that UN plus 1 minus UN is less than 0. क्यों prove करते हैं ऐसा? ये भी हमने समझाया था. क्यों लेते हैं? हाँ, क्यों लेते हैं? क्योंकि अगर जब कोई टर्म डिक्रीज होगा तो क्या होगा? फ्यूचर में टर्म का वैल्यू कमते जाएगा. इसीलिए यार ये तो है n plus 1 means some future value compared with the previous value. ठीक है, तो इसलिए ये वैल्यू हमारा डिक्रीज हो रहा है.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, UN plus 1 minus UN जो हम लोग करते हैं उसमें एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू तो कंसिडर नहीं करता, जो वैल्यू आ रहा है उसको कंसिडर करते हैं ना.
हाँ.
Okay, then that's fine. Thank you, ma'am. तो सिंपली मैम हम लोग UN plus 1 by UN करके तो डायरेक्टली मतलब तो एक ही लाइन में हो जाएगा, कुछ लिखने की जरूरत भी नहीं पड़ती.
क्या करते?
UN plus 1 by UN less than 1.
UN plus 1 by UN
less than.
हाँ एक ही चीज है बट ये
एक चीज है बट
हाँ एक ही चीज है लेकिन इसको मत करना. एक ही चीज क्योंकि प्रॉपर्टी को सिंप्लीफाई करके बताता है ना. क्योंकि देखो इफ यू अप्लाई द मैथमेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ दिस थ्योरी कि डिक्रीज कर रहा है तो पहले क्या होता है? इफ आई टेल यू टू प्रूव वेदर द नंबर इज डिक्रीजिंग और नॉट, व्हाट यू विल से कि जैसे जैसे n बढ़ रहा है वैल्यू कम रहा है. दैट इज द मेन थिंग दैट यू विल से. तुम तो ये नहीं बोलोगे ना कि जैसे जैसे वैल्यू बढ़ रहा है उसका वैल्यू को हम डिवाइड कर रहे हैं उसके.
अच्छा ओके आई गॉट इट.
तो वो नहीं बोलते हैं. तो मैथमेटिकल जब भी कोई फॉर्मूला बनता है तो वो क्या कहता है? वो एक लॉजिक लेके फॉर्मूला बनता है. चीज एक ही चीज बन रहा है बट यू डोंट
समझ गए. आई गॉट इट. थैंक यू.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I mean, Leibniz test, we have to limit, we have to consider it to 0. Yeah, it is finite, then it is convergent.
It will be 0.
Then this you have given that is not convergent. It is limit is not coming finite. It is coming
fail हो गया टेस्ट Leibniz वाला.
हाँ, then it will not be convergent. Yes, this series is not convergent. ठीक है, एग्जाम में अपना ज्यादा अकलमंद लगा के ये सब मत लगाना. ठीक है, ऐसे कैलकुलेशन यू आर गेटिंग द सेम थिंग बट इफ यू सी मैथमेटिकल लॉजिक दिस इज नॉट द प्रॉपर लॉजिक. दिस इज द प्रॉपर लॉजिक.
It's not convergent, but what is divergent or oscillating?
No, you cannot say it is divergent. Just you say it is not convergent.
Okay, ma'am.
This is the system. This is your A augmented B. So rank of A augmented B is also 3. Rank of A is also 3. So both the system has 3 rank.
Now you take one more example.
Consistent as a we have to find this solution. अब जब solution हो गया, then we have to find whether it has infinite number of solutions or unique solutions. Regardless of what sector is unique solution or infinite number of solutions. So if the rank of is equal to number of unknowns, if it is not equal to
what if no follow the syllabus and follow what I have taught. It is not there in your syllabus.
It has.
But ma'am, whatever I have downloaded from the website of
Yes. This system.
No, you see, follow what I have uploaded over here.
Minus 5 plus 3
that is it, ma'am.
is equal to
ठीक है.
Okay.
कहाँ है वो?
plus 5z is equal to 60 minus 76z is equal to minus 1.
And previous question what we will write is it is not convergent.
Yes, it is not. By Leibniz theory, it is not convergent. Okay, now if you have the series like this, n minus 1 by 2, n minus 1.
76 coming out. Then use second equation 3y plus 5z is equal to 60. We have the value z and we are going to solve this equation to get y which is coming out to 2.
Ma'am, that I
The first equation is minus y plus 2 is equal to 8. I get my x which is
You check whether it is convergent or not.
कन्वर्जेंट है Leibniz टेस्ट से.
अच्छा, और इसका अगर एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू ले रहे हैं तो एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू क्या कन्वर्जेंट है कि डाइवर्जेंट है?
Any doubt in this case? No, that is no. So at this question, investigate for what value of lambda.
Ma'am, absolutely.
value is divergent.
So what is the conclusion?
Absolutely.
Conditionally convergent.
Conditionally convergent.
Yes, it is conditionally convergent. अब solution post करो.
Tell me for what value of lambda and mu, the system has one solution, weak solution and infinite solution. Solve this.
Okay, in matrix theory till where sir has taught?
Rank of a matrix.
It was just a
row
beginning and
Ma'am,
some
just
part.
the beginning.
अब अभी ओवरव्यू दे रहे थे.
हाँ?
Yes, ma'am.
क्या over दे रहे थे मतलब?
Overview of the briefing of the chapter basically.
मतलब अभी शुरू नहीं, मतलब ऐसा कुछ टॉपिक कवर नहीं हुआ है.
No, ma'am.
रैंकिंग निकला है, रैंक हाउ टू फाइंड द रैंक ऑफ द मैट्रिक्स.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
ब्रीफिंग हुआ था रैंकिंग का।
अच्छा ठीक है.
मैम सिलेबस कहाँ है?
सिलेबस यहीं पे ये सिलेबस फर्स्ट डे व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड क्लासेस आई हैड सेड रैंक ऑफ द मैट्रिक्स स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है ना दूसरा सेक्शन में.
ब्रीफिंग हुआ है रैंक का।
अच्छा रैंक का ठीक है तुम ठीक है. आई विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग.
मैम गॉस टेस्ट.
द गॉस टेस्ट इज नॉट देयर इन योर सिलेबस.
मैम आप उसमें लिखा है, उसमें लिखा है मैम गॉस टेस्ट.
अच्छा गॉस टेस्ट लिखा है.
यस मैम.
ठीक है करवाते हैं. वैसे एक बार हम इसे देखते हैं और बाकी सब सिलेबस में हो गया है.
गॉस टेस्ट बचा सिर्फ.
अच्छा गॉस टेस्ट यहाँ पे बुक में मिलेगा.
अच्छा ठीक है तो मैंने शो कर तुम्हारा.
गए थे ये बुक हम जो पोस्ट किए देखे हो कोई ये बुक?
लगाई भी है. सॉल्व भी करिए.
सॉल्व की है
जी.
कैसी लगी बुक?
यस मैम.
बढ़िया है मैम. अच्छा लगा. बढ़िया है मैम. मजा आ गया.
कैसी बुक है मैम?
उस टाइम तो भीड़ नहीं था.
Solve करो, right here, when the D matrix find its rank